Entrepreneur to Ultrapreneur, step number 2. And that is creating enabling environment. So if you think about anything, whether it's a plant, whether it's a person, whether it's a business, they all need an environment that enables rather than disables them. So what do I mean by that? I've identified 4 key elements which I believe provide an enabling environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. The first one is doing what you love. So making sure that the business you're in, you're passionate about it. And we've spoken about this in lesson number 1, step number 1, but you're not just passionate about it, but you're excellent at that thing too. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you have a strong support system, and that generally comes from family and friends and the relationships that you have with them. The third thing is health and fitness. So if you are not nutritionally and physically fit and healthy, then it is going to impact your ability to perform. And now that I've said it, it will make complete sense, but it's not the kind of thing that you hear business people talk about in the old, manual on how to write a business. And then the last thing is internal well-being. Some people call it spirituality, but if you don't have a grounding, an internal grounding, then it's going to throw you off center. You hear people talking about they've lost their sense of self, they've lost their identity, they're not sure who they are anymore because they've gotten caught up in something which is external and they've forgotten about the internal them. So I call those the 4 elements of entrepreneurship, and it's my belief that once you have those 4 elements balanced, and it's always a balancing act, so you'll put more focus on one or another as time goes on, right? And that's the art to it. But once you're able to do that you can then become the best version of you possible, as opposed to mirroring a version of somebody else, right? So instead of looking at someone else as a blueprint, you might take their framework and put your own blueprint over that framework. But unless you have those 4 elements in place, then at some point, if one of them is out of whack, no matter how great your business is going, it's going to have a huge knock-on effect on your ability to perform within that business. So that's it. That's the 4 elements of entrepreneurship, and that is step number 2 in going from entrepreneur to ultrapreneur, making sure that you create an enabling environment for you as an entrepreneur.